So our fourth speaker, last but not the least, is we have a guest once more from the Philippines. Please welcome the President of Universal Leaf, Mr. Winston Uy.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, PA Joey, for organizing this. It's been fantastic. I'd like to tell my story. My story is that I was a young man in late 1990s, and I got into the Senate Hall when they were discussing GATT. What is GATT? It was the precursor of the WTO, which created the globalized world. It was in a session hall where we came from a society where everything is protected to all of a sudden everybody's discussing about a world that's liberalized. I took 2 steps backward from how I looked at our business, and I got so scared. I got so scared. Why? We cannot compete. At that time, we're working with middlemen, and my search in finding solutions brought me that the only solution comes from working directly with our farmers. Our farmers create the cost, create the quality. We're only as good as they are. But who are they? Our farmers are poor. They don't have much education. They don't have much experience. They don't have much money. As PA Joey says, they don't have the 3 M's. Not that just they didn't have the 3 M's. We are living in a culture at that time that was full of deceit. The agriculture was all about lamangan, utakan, nakawan. And that culture has to change. Tobacco is a traditional crop that needs to change in order to transform. The good thing that we had going, which was bad at that time, is that our lobby was so weak, we did not get any safety nets. Not like sugar and coconut and rice. We had no safety net. It's 0 rated right now, and imported tobacco is 0 rated from ASEAN. So that forced us to become competitive. And it has to be a change of mindset. From that culture of distrust and deceit, we have to create a culture of trust. And between the farmers who have so little in life and with us, where we're empowered with so much more in life, the onus is on ourselves to trust and create the ability for them to trust us. So that whole change of mindset is the most important first thing that we have to do. But from that change of mindset, our farmers, 80% of our farmers don't even own their land. So how can they compete with agro-industrial estates from everywhere else in the world, in the globalized world? It's the same things. They need everything. The 3 M's that PA Joey talked about, the market, the money, technology. We're financing our farmers with 0 security. We have 20,000 farmers. Everything is financed. And not only finance, they have to have everything. Because in order to succeed, they must have everything. Without the proper post-harvest facility, without irrigation, it's a recipe for disaster. That's what creates the boom and bust cycles that we have. So there's no magic wand here. That's what we need. But how do you inculcate that into a traditional culture that knows so little of this? All of this costs money. From 15,000 pesos per hectare that we're advancing out, we went to 150,000 pesos. Most people would be scared shitless about this. And it is scared. And we made a lot of mistakes, and we went through so much pain. But what I learned, it boils down to management. We have to create a good team. This is very practical. It's all management. Create a good team and good people. One of the fallacies and the mindsets that we have to change is that agriculture, people and agriculture resources, mostly people, are not as well paid. They're not as well qualified as other fields, as engineers, as bankers. That has to change. We have to change that mindset and create a team well motivated, and that's management. But the other great equalizer here is technology. As PA Joey said the same thing, what is the difference when you have 1,000 hectares contiguous here and you have 1,000 farmers spread all over Region 1 and 2? It's a big difference. It cannot be done if you do not center your management and using tablets and phones, link them together like they are one contiguous farm. It is not the same, but it's still your best chance. It's a lot of work. We've created our own ERP, we have our own software to run the whole thing, from logistics to technology and everything. And this is a screenshot. All our farmers, all our technicians, 500 plus tablets distributed, all working on the same system, all providing data in every day, and we provide useful reports to all of them so they can make proper decisions. And at the end of the day, we're all farmers. When we're all farmers, we must be focused on the weather. That's why in this individualized dashboard that we have created for everybody, the weather. Technology has already told us that La Nino and El Niña are two different weather patterns. So you plan your crop according to that. And the weather predicting has been very much better already. And we're provided weekly and daily through that tablet that goes through all our organic personnel. But that information should not stop there. That information should go to the farmers where they can make their better decisions too. So with that, we text blast. Anytime there's a weather pattern that let's say 5 days of rain, we're already telling them what to do, what to prepare, what agricultural practices that has to change a little bit, added inputs and everything. That's the only way for us to be able to be globally competitive. One of the beautiful things that the government has done is this Project NOAA, and we are the most disaster-prone country in the world. We have downloaded Project NOAA, superimposed it into our own GIS, and go back. Superimposed to our GIS that in those are our farms. When it rains, how many mLs, we can predict where the floods are going to come and when they're going to come. It's not 100%, but we have to mitigate, and we do mitigate. We've lowered our risk potential significantly, and we're using that GIS not just for the weather, we're using it for efficiency in finding the roads, identifying where all the farms are. This is, where all the farms are, and the responsibilities of each technician. It goes down to the farm level. You can click it, you can see the farmers' accounts, farmers' agronomic account, financial accounts. We have the disease mapping too. So from the products that they deliver to us, we can identify what diseases they have. From those diseases, it goes to the computer, and next year, they're provided with seedlings from seeds that are resistant to the resistant varieties to the diseases that has been mapped out for them. But that's just not it. It's a whole bunch of things. We have photo documentation where we can prove and verify farmers' yields and the crop stand. We have every personnel has a real-time KPI measurement of every activity. And most important part, there's a financial and management report that goes to everybody's hands as a report, simple to read, simple to understand. And this created a sustainable business platform for us. We've gone away from boom and bust cycles. We measure our farmers' profitability. We ensure that the standard deviation of their profitability do not go beyond a certain limit. In the words of the Marines, no one is left behind. We try to understand every single farmer's situation to create that sustainability. And modern agriculture goes beyond just that. It goes to sustainability programs and good agricultural practices that is being audited by every major in the world. And next. All of this sounds highfalutin. And we're working with farmers that do not know much and do not have much. we have to empathize. With empathy, when we strive to understand how to be understood, all these complicated stuff can be understood in programs and ideas that are spread around properly. And whenever you're dealing with people's lives, livelihood, and land, it's always very passionate. That's why you need empathy to communicate with them properly. So all of this, we are empowering our farmers to make our company better. And with that, we have grown. For the past 20 years, we have exciting growth for the next medium term on an industry that has been shrinking 3 to 5% a year for the past 10 years. Traditional crops do not have to remain traditional. There is a way. Is it easy? It's not easy. It's one step at a time, one problem to solve and mitigate, and it becomes easier later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Winston. You started, of course, talking about the advantages of using technology when it comes to tobacco farming. I wanted to ask you first, in the Philippines, can you use the same kind of land to plant rice and tobacco? Can farmers choose?
Actually, in the north, Ilocos, they plant rice and tobacco intercrop.
In the same land?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it more profitable to plant tobacco?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, why are tobacco farmers in the Philippines poor? What challenges do we face, or the farmers?
The poor that you're saying, you're referring to the Virginia farmers in Ilocos. The Virginia farmers is the last crop that I have to tackle. All the other crops, you go to Isabela, you go to Cagayan, you go to Pangasinan, we have very, very progressive crops, and we have farmers that are very rich. We have farmers with tractors that says katas ng tobacco.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have some politician friends here, but the problem is the political protection gave a sort of a safety net for the Virginia growers. And that has, right now we're talking on a roadmap.
Yeah.
We're tackling that. That's the last crop that I have to improve. And they're not poor. Compared to all other crops, they're making much more money than that.
Yeah. So should the Philippines focus more on tobacco farming? Do you think that are we paying enough attention to it?
I think we should pay attention to whatever crops can provide a better livelihood for our farmers. The model that we have should be replicated by the other crops, because the other crops, no other traditional crops get supported properly. And when you're not supported properly, you do not have a greater chance of success. You have a greater chance of failure. So with our model, yes, we can. We can grow more. In fact, how can we grow when the whole global industry is shrinking 3 to 5%? Because we're globalized. 60% of our production of our company goes for export.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when we're looking at the 60 million kilos grown in the Philippines, it's so small. But when we're looking at 6 billion kilos grown in the world, I don't care if it's shrinking at 3%, it's still a huge market out there. If you're better than everybody else in the world, you can compete.
Yeah. Very good point.
Well,
So what is the important secret that they can take home?
a lot of what I presented are company secrets.
Okay.
These are the key things. I just want to, a lot of people here are traditional crops. And traditional crops, if not supported completely, it's not going to go anywhere. We cannot compete. We cannot compete. In fact, I dread the day of ASEAN full integration. And I know rice and corn and sugar and coconut cannot compete.
Well said.
Yeah.
Are you telling them to open their mind to also try
that it
out
can be done.
non-traditional crops?
No. I'm telling them that it can be done. Change your mindset. Trust. Be the leader in your industry, the true leader that puts the money out and the effort out. And you can transform. We went from an industry that is moribund to a vibrant one.
All right, bravo. Okay, you wanted to
Karen,
quickly
Winston
before
is-
Dato closes.
Winston is a family friend, but I beg to disagree with him that traditional crops cannot
Now we're
compete.
gonna have a disagreement past 15 minutes. Go ahead.
It's innovation that will
Joey's
really
gonna
bring
give
us
me
up.
the time. Go ahead, Henry. What was the disagreement?
No, it's
Since we
really-
want the panel to be exciting.
it's really innovation now that will really push us up. I think we'll do a contest now whether planting tobacco or planting rice will be more profitable. We'll
All
try to do that.
right. Okay, but I think one thing you both agree in, Winston and Henry, is innovation plays an important role.